Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 160 of the Runnin the Paint podcast. I'm Miles here with Joey, Nick, and Ben. Guys, how are you doing today?
Feeling good, feeling great. Ready to knock down another couple questions.
Yeah, we got a GM survey. We got some burning questions. I'm excited. Got to give a quick shout out to my varsity coach. It's his birthday today. I think he's turning 35 for the 12th year in a row. So happy birthday to the OG.
Happy birthday indeed. Yes, we got a lot in store here on this episode. We got 5 more burning questions. Of course, as Nick pointed out, the GM survey was released today as we were recording this. And we got to talk about LeBron, about a couple things later on in the pod. But to start things off, we have...
He got us. He got us.
He did get us. Shout out to Hennessy. LeBron is the new Henny God, or you see the Henny King?
Yeah.
Henny King, yeah. There's only one Henny God, and that's J.R. Smith.
Shout out to J.R. Smith. But let's get into POELTL here. Who is our first player that we are guessing today?
All right, someone we were just watching, former Cavalier Isaac Okoro, now on the Chicago Bulls.
All
Got
right.
some love at the first preseason game that I went to on Tuesday versus the Bulls.
Oh, we got the number.
Number 35 in the East? Not in the Central Division? 20.
I was immediately going to think like Marvin Bagley or something, but...
Low key, that actually could be right. He's on the Wizards.
Wait, is he really? I thought
Yeah,
he was on like the Pistons or something.
He re-signed back with the
35.
Wizards this
I'm
summer. I think
guessing.
that actually might be right.
Is it really Marvin?
Well,
How'd you know he was
hold
35?
on.
I remember, he was 35
Oh,
way
I'm-
back in the day. Dude.
I'm guessing him. Oh my God!
Oh, it is him.
It's a Joe POELTL day. Look at this.
That's
That
straight
Hey,
Joey.
look at him.
That is incredible.
Thank you for letting me pick the player today.
That is one of the all-time
Yeah.
polls on this podcast in POELTL. Marvin Bagley in 2. At the former number 2 overall pick.
Yup.
Able to get him in 2 on this one. So let us know how long it took you guys to get Marvin Bagley. But let's get into this. Starting off with LeBron. Aside from the Hennessy and him not actually retiring this season for now, you never know what could happen throughout the season. It was announced, they're reported by Shams that LeBron James is going to be out 3 to 4 weeks with I don't know exactly how to pronounce this. How do you pronounce this? Have any of you guys seen this? The Sciatica injury?
Sciatica?
Sciatica.
Oh, sciatica, yeah.
Sciatica?
Okay.
Sciatica is like a nerve. It's a nerve ailment, pretty much, that happens to people when they stop moving as much in high school. Like you go to college, you lift weights, you get sciatica.
So LeBron has sciatica on his right sideline
That's
for
where
3
the-
to 4 weeks.
That's where the nerve is. It runs right down your hamstring.
This is exactly where age is finally probably catching up to LeBron James.
Yeah,
That's a
potentially.
definite
Oh yeah,
sign.
well definitely. So crazy thing is that LeBron, for the first time ever, he's going to miss the season opener here, Ben, going into year number 23. So, I mean, quick question. I mean, to start off things, how do you think this will affect the Lakers to start off their season?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to LeBron versus Curry at that opening night matchup. I'm bummed I won't get to see that, but LeBron will get back healthy later in the year, so we will hopefully see that later in the season. But yeah, that's tough to start the season for the Lakers. They needed, to try and, get some more continuity building here with LeBron.
Where'd you have them in your predictions, Ben? 8th?
I had them 8th, yeah.
So that's already a low spot to start with. We had some questions about them going into
Yeah.
the year, and now another top 10 guy on their roster isn't going to be there for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's more questionable for the first couple weeks. It's tough that, they went with LeBron to start the year to get more chemistry building there. So, yeah, Austin Reeves really got to be ready to get to start the year. It's at number 2. He's got to put up some big numbers with scoring until LeBron comes back. And, yes, tough with starting like the in-season tournament thing without LeBron either, but Luka could still go off. Who knows? We can see.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a tough loss, Nick. I mean, obviously it's LeBron, but on this Lakers team that, what, you and I both had them sixth in the Western Conference this season, around there. And there have been a lot of questions and concerns about the fit of their starting guys. So with this injury, although it's going to be tough because it is LeBron James and he is still incredible, that's one guy that needs the ball that's now out of the lineup, and now it can really be Luka and Reeves handling the show, at the guard spots, and you can throw in a defensive player like maybe Vanderbilt in the starting lineup.
Yeah, the fit questions definitely got a little bit more muddied with the injury to LeBron here, because thinking about it, like every team LeBron has ever been on has been a LeBron-led team. This is like the first time it's really not, but he's still a huge part of what they got going on, obviously. So getting him back into the fold is going to be a different thing that he hasn't had to deal with throughout his career. Like everything has adapted to him, and now the Lakers are going to have to adapt, or everything has. You guys know what I'm trying to say. He's going to have to adapt when he comes back to what they already have cooking, which is going to be something he hasn't had to do before. So that's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And to start off their season, so he's going to miss 3 to 4 weeks from now. So the 3 weeks from today is October 30th, which means he would miss the first 5 games of the season against the Warriors at home in that opener, which still should be fun. Now it's going to be Luka versus Curry, so it still should be a lot of fun. Then a playoff rematch against the Timberwolves that Friday night. Both of those games are at home. Then it's away against Sacramento, Monday at home against the Portland Trail Blazers, and then Wednesday the 29th away against the Timberwolves as well. And then that's the 3-week mark right before Halloween, which Halloween is the first cup game that they play. So Joey,
what are they doing? What's their record after those 5 if he doesn't play?
Joey,
I'd say 1-4 or 2-3.
I'm gonna go 2-3, and I'm not. It's not going to be.
They'll beat the Wolves once.
Yeah,
they should.
I think they'll beat the Wolves once, and honestly, I think they could still win opening night versus the Warriors. I think Luka and Austin Reeves might come out hot, just to let everyone know, hey, even though LeBron's out, we're going to carry, and then they're going to hit reality in the next 3 games after that.
They could drop one to the Blazers in the first couple of games of the year, and that would be a real reality check.
That could already be a scheduled loss. Second night of a back-to-back after playing the Kings. That could be difficult. But
well, if they drop both those, then that's the reality check.
Well, we know they're not beating the Kings. Let's just be right about guys. They're not beating the Kings.
I mean, honestly, there's a world where they could go. I mean, they could go even better. They still have Luka Doncic, to lead the way. Like, it's not. They're a very talented roster, and they still have one of the best players in the world to lead them. So I don't think it'll be that much of a problem. I guess where it does become a problem is against the Timberwolves, 2 teams that, I mean, it's a loaded Western Conference. We have no idea where any of these teams could finish up. The Lakers and the T-Wolves could be in similar situations, and the Lakers have to play them twice in the first couple weeks of the season without LeBron. That could be huge by the end of the season in terms of like tiebreakers and seeding and all that.
That's right.
That is true. Never really thought about that.
Especially since it looks like they only play them 3 times this season. Now, and the third game isn't all the way until March 10th. So honestly, this first couple of week stretch could determine who wins that series, and that could have a huge impact on the West standings after a couple of weeks. So that's definitely going to be huge. Ben, who do you think is the number 1 player for the Lakers that has to step up in LeBron's absence?
That's a good question. But I'm thinking it's going to have to be Rui Hachimura because he's, at a similar position as LeBron James, and he's going to have to step it up and be more consistent with the scoring, and he needs to show that he can play some good defense, shoot some length out there at the wing area.
Definitely not a bad one. Nick, what do you think about
player that needs
to step up the most?
I'm going to go with Bronny James. No. The obvious answer is AR-15 because they're going to need some more scoring production with LeBron out. But I think Dalton Knecht could maybe get some run here in the early year, and that would be good for him. and his development. And so whether or not that goes well for him is a different question. But yeah, Dalton should be able to get some run here in the early year without LeBron being available.
Yeah,
In
absolutely.
year two, I think he's in his second year now.
Yeah,
he was a later first-round pick.
Who was a good piece for them to start the year, kind of fell out of the rotation later in the season and in the playoffs after he got thrown into the Mark Williams trade that got rescinded. So that it'll be interesting to see how he bounces.
He's one of those he was one of those 4-year college guys that came in the league at like 24 and was kind of ready to step in and start producing. So see if he can get back to that with a little more of a shot here this year.
Absolutely. Joey, anyone stand out to you as far as someone that needs to fill in the production?
I was thinking either Rui Hachimura, like Ben said, or Jared Vanderbilt, because someone's going to have to step up for the defense. Because I remember when we were talking about the Lakers in our previews that LeBron's probably your best defender in that starting lineup. With him out now, they're probably still going to bring Dalton Connect off the bench. I wouldn't be surprised if they started Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt, because they're going to need defense to fill that up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this season we see some weird statistics where the Lakers are better defensively without LeBron in the lineup to start off the season and all that stuff. Just because you can load in a defender in the starting lineup, and like we talked about in the standing preview, it's kind of hard for any of these guys in the starting lineup to come off the bench. It's darn near impossible for this to happen. So, I think to start the season, their defense might be better than expected. Then when LeBron comes back, we'll see, how it goes. Not that LeBron's a bad defender, but 41-year-old LeBron being your best defender, I don't know.
Coming off Sciatica.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Sciatica. Let's all say it together. Sciatica.
Sciatica. Okay, but yeah, that's enough on LeBron and the Lakers. Maybe we'll get into them with this next thing here, the 2025 NBA GM survey, which was released today by ESPN. They've been doing this for good 23 years, I believe, since 2002, with John Schumann leading the way here, asking 49 questions. Obviously, we won't go into every single question, but we'll go into the biggest ones, and we'll see if you guys can predict who these GMs would answer to these questions. So the number one question: which team will win the 2026 NBA Finals?
Big stumper for the first one.
Yeah.
The Thunder.
I think it's the Thunder. I think they all voted the Thunder.
Thunder, 80% of the votes.
Yeah.
And then 4 other teams got votes here.
I'm going to go Cavs, Knicks, Nuggets, Clippers.
Almost right. You're one off.
Is it the Lakers?
No, neither of the LA teams.
It's probably the Rockets.
The Rockets.
Oh.
Houston Rockets. So there you go.
Yeah.
And then last year, the Celtics won this one as well. So the defending champion has won each of the last 2 years. But, of course, as we know, it has been a while since the defending champ has even made it past the second round. So we'll see if that can continue this season or if the Thunder can break that streak. Who will win this year's MVP award? This player got 67% of the votes. Ben, who do you think the GMs voted for?
I'm going to have to guess Jokic.
And that is correct. Nikola Jokic getting 67%. A lot of different players receiving votes. Luka at number 2 got 10% of the votes. Then Shea, Wembanyama, Giannis, and Edwards, and Donovan Mitchell all got votes as well.
Voter fatigue already starting before the season even begins. Yeah. Luka over Shea.
Yeah. Which player is most likely to have a breakout season this coming year? A lot of players receiving votes for this. Number 1 had 30% of the votes.
Amen Thompson, maybe?
That is correct. Amen Thompson with 30% of the votes. A whole lot of other players that are in this one. A lot of young players looking.
Who were the next highest?
Brandon Miller, Asar Thompson, and Wembanyama all got 10%.
Yeah.
And then a whole lot of players receiving other votes there. Best point guard in the league, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 73% of the votes, with Doncic, Curry, and Halliburton below. Shooting guard, Anthony Edwards, with 70% of the votes. Small forward, Luka Doncic.
I was going to say, you mentioned Luka came in second in the point guard. Where did he finish on the shooting guard list, too?
Tied for third.
Oh, and now the number 1 small forward.
Yeah, ahead of Tatum, Durant, LeBron, and Leonard, 4 players who have been power forwards for the last few years. So even like Jalen Williams got him, or I guess J-Dub was a small forward when they were healthy fully.
Can we just get rid of the whole position? Like small forward doesn't exist anymore.
No, it really doesn't.
At this point, it's just guards, wings, and centers. Like that's kind of where guards, wings, or bigs.
Except Doncic fills in guards and forwards, apparently.
Apparently, Joker is also a point guard who plays as a big.
Yeah. Best power forward. Giannis, 93% of the votes. Which player got the other 7%?
Mobley.
Yes, sir. Evan Mobley.
I saw that earlier. I was so happy.
And then best center, Jokic, 97%. Wemby got 3%. So no one's going crazy. Well, one person is going crazy. But that's about it right there. Offseason moves. Which team made the best overall moves this offseason? This team got 53% of the votes.
I would say Atlanta.
Agreed.
But I think
that's correct. That's what they picked. The Atlanta Hawks. Which one player acquisition will make the biggest impact? This player got 73% of the votes.
Durant.
Kevin Durant in Houston. Most underrated player acquisition. This player got 17% of the votes. Whole lot of guys got votes.
Nah.
Incorrect.
Lonzo?
What would you say, Ben?
Lonzo.
Not Lonzo. Lonzo did tie for 4th. Nikhil did not get a vote.
Bane?
Bane, there it is. Desmond Bane, 17%. Excuse me. Which team will be most improved this coming season? This team got 47% of the vote.
I'm going to go with Atlanta again.
Atlanta tied for 2nd.
Is it Orlando?
It is Orlando. The Magic, 47%, expected to be the most improved team this season.
Because they were at 500 last year, I think.
They were.
That's right. Because they won the division at 500 as a 7th seed. That's right. So yeah, that's logical.
That
is correct. And then, what was the most surprising move of the offseason?
The Drew Holiday, Anthony Simons deal.
No.
Was it the Desmond Bane one?
Not Desmond Bane. This got 43% of the votes. I mean, this was a shocker. This was surprising when it happened.
Capella.
Not Clint Capella. All right, we got. All right, this is
the New Orleans Pelicans draft day trade.
That tied for 3rd. You're getting closer. These are things getting votes now.
I'm stumped.
Yeah.
Got a stumper. Ben, what were you gonna say?
Nah, I said I don't know.
No, he doesn't know either. All right, number 1, the Bucks waiving and stretching Damian Lillard.
That makes perfect sense.
What was the question again?
Followed by Miles Turner to the Bucks. The most surprising move of the offseason.
Gotcha.
So the Bucks accounted for 73% of the votes, which makes a lot of sense. Which rookie was the biggest steal at where he was selected in the draft? This guy got 17% of the votes.
Yakichonis in Miami.
Correct. Yakichonis at 20. And let's see. Any other crazy... Let's see. Best head coach in the league?
Eric
Spoelstra. Great time to mention and shout out Eric Spoelstra for officially being named the head coach of Team USA. So congratulations to Eric Spoelstra. Definitely well deserved. Yes. Which head coach runs the best offense in the league?
Snyder.
No.
Rick Carlisle.
Rick Carlisle got 53%.
That's he runs transition.
Which it went to Game 7 of the finals. That's pretty good.
Best offense and best half-court offense are 2 different things.
But that wasn't the question. It was runs the best offense, not the best.
I understand. I have qualms.
Which head coach has the best defensive schemes?
Kenny Atkinson.
Incorrect.
Ooh.
Ime.
Ime second.
Mark
Daigneault. Yeah, go to the best defensive team in the league. Yeah. Let's see. Which team is the most fun to watch? 2 teams tied for 1st, tied for 27% of the votes.
Is this like based on last year or heading into this year?
It just says which team is the most fun to watch.
Okay. Pacers?
Pacers were third, 20%.
Ooh,
Close.
okay.
Knicks?
Oh.
New York Knicks, no.
Spurs, just because Wemby.
Spurs, no.
Is it the Thunder?
Thunder are tied for first.
Cavs, ethical basketball.
Not the Cavs, unfortunately. It's the Thunder and the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking about what we saying, Denver.
And then those two teams also tied for first, which team has the best home court advantage, both of them getting 43%. Then the other teams that got votes, the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Cavaliers. So shout out to Cleveland for us bringing it to the Rocket Arena every single night. Which team will have the league's most efficient offense this season?
Oh.
Dang, that's a tough one.
Most
Definitely not Orlando.
No, not Orlando. This team got 40% of the votes.
I'd probably have to go with the Knicks.
Not the Knicks. They got one vote.
The Thunder?
Thunder second at 30%.
Is it the Nuggets?
It is not the Nuggets. They're at 20%, third place.
Oh,
Do they still like the Cavs?
Cavaliers, 40%.
Oh.
Well, the best offense in the league last year, too. Just go based off that stuff. Yeah, and I think those are probably all the big, crazy questions here. Yeah, which player would you want taking a shot with the game on the line?
I want Iguodala.
Well,
I want Jokic.
He did get a vote, but it's not Jokic.
Doncic?
No, it's Steph. Steph Curry,
Steph?
still
Yeah.
47.
yeah, I saw that one.
And then interesting, what rule regarding play, schedule, draft, lottery, all that stuff most needs to change? There are a whole lot of different things that were talked about. These are pretty specific answers. We could quickly go through some of these ones and see what you guys think about this. Number one, 26% of GMs say that the roster construction rules need to change, that the apron rules are too harsh, add a cap discount for own drafted players, allow trading partial salaries within the apron, and make all minimum contracts the same. Because right now, veteran minimums are different than rookie minimums, which is why veterans are kind of being forced out of the league because you have to pay more for them to come in. So that's number one. What do you guys think about that being the number one thing that GMs say they want changed?
Makes sense because they are handcuffed in their jobs.
Yeah. I was going to say, it makes perfect sense. But I kind of like the apron. You have to plan your roster better. You can't just pay all the top guys all the money and then you just got to be smart about it. But I do kind of get at least the minimums. That is kind of stupid. I don't like that.
I also think it's just been too short of a runway to really see how this apron thing is going to work out for the majority of the league. Like, you've seen the Thunder really do well with it, and then there's other teams that aren't handling it as well, like the Suns. So just give it a couple more years and learn how to deal with it rather than want to change it right away.
Yeah, I guess that's something we'll have to see because, like, the Celtics had to trade away their team. The Thunder are in a great position, but that
gives more teams opportunities. Like the Celtics, maybe it's not a good thing that they have to trade away their stars, the fans love and stuff. But like now you got the Hawks and the Magic who are right in the mix for stuff, and like that's more fun.
That's why I like the apron because it forces these teams like, hey, if you are going to pay all your star players and all these guys what they're worth for that 1 year or 1 or 2 years, you better win the championship. And then you got to blow it up and make room for some of these new teams. I like that. I like getting new winners and new people in the mix every year.
Yeah. Ben, what are your thoughts about the whole apron thing? I was just looking. This is the same exact top answer for last year as well at 20%. It's up this year as well. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I would say that I do overall like the apron rule thing, but it's kind of annoying with like the minimums and stuff. So I agree like with Jimmy on this. That's just how I feel about it for now.
I think that's the main thing I would switch because veterans are still important, but they're being forced out of the league, because of the whole contract situation. Because it's a math equation. That's why veterans are out of the league. You'd rather pay the money to get a rookie, So it's definitely difficult. The rest of these things, I'm just going to run through all these. There are some interesting rule concepts that I want to hear what you guys think about them. So whatever stands out to you, just let me know. So 2, the draft schedule, moving it back to a one-day lottery, having it after free agency begins, which was number 2. That got 19% of the votes. Number 3, the game flow, continuous/faster review, hockey-style substitutions, and no live ball timeouts.
I like the no live ball timeouts, but the hockey substitution sounds chaotic.
Why would you like the no live ball timeouts?
I'm over, I'll be honest, there are so many timeouts. I think I do like that they want to speed up the game because I tend to agree. I tend to agree. I don't like that there's so much stoppage of play, especially if you're at the game. It sucks being why are there so many timeouts and stuff like that when you're just watching the game? You don't even know because half the time it's TV timeouts.
In my opinion, though, that the no live ball timeouts thing, I think that would actually make the game longer and worse for fans because in end of game situations, when you need your timeouts, teams are going to have to foul in order to make it a dead ball situation in order to force a timeout.
I think it's interesting.
I don't like it. That makes no sense to me.
That I don't like at all because you can't just get the rebound, call timeout to advance it up the floor in a close game like that. I don't like,
Yeah, but
that's
part of the game. It's built. It's the same rule for everybody. I don't like it either because it's only in the NBA that you can actually advance the ball off of a timeout. But it's the same for everybody, and it's only in the NBA, and so that's just the way it is.
Yeah, but I do think that having advances are better for the game for the NBA. And what the WNBA does is I don't remember the exact number, but I believe in the final 2 minutes you get one timeout and one advance. So you don't call timeout. I want to advance the ball. And you just go into the front court. There's no timeout. There's no crazy stoppage. It takes 10 seconds.
That's interesting. I like that.
Because it works out very well. Shout out Asia Wilson, by the way, for a crazy game winner to give them the 3-0 lead. That was ridiculous. Moving on through these rules here. The playoff format. We hear it all the time, the 1 through 16 seeds. The draft system. Can't draft in the top 6 in 3 straight years, and you shouldn't reward losing. What do you guys think about this one?
Put it in right now.
Ben, what do you think about that one?
So basically, what was the other part of it outside? You can't have for years in a row top 6 draft picks.
It's essentially the same thing. I mean, shouldn't reward losing. So that's basically what the whole thing is. You shouldn't be able to draft the top 6 in 3 straight years. So you shouldn't be rewarded for continuing.
I would go as far as say top 10.
I don't know, because top 6, if you're in the bottom 6 in the lottery odds, then that means you were tanking and purposely being bad, whether it's for the whole year or for the final half of the season. I think top 10, there can be a little more leeway with that.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of fair, but I don't really know how I feel about that. I mean, some of these other rules you have brought up, Miles, I'm like, well, what are these that GM is thinking? I'm thinking man, I haven't thought about these as a fan outside the first one you brought up, Miles.
No, I haven't either, which is why this is so interesting. Yeah, it's crazy. And this is crazy because these are NBA general managers that are thinking of these things. Higher penalties for cap circumvention, schedule, fewer back-to-backs, no home road back-to-backs. And then final ones that just received a couple votes. elam ending, like the All-Star game, where you have the older All-Star games where you play to a total instead of playing the quarter out.
I wouldn't mind trying that out for a year, to be honest, or like try it out in the cup games.
Or try it in the G League.
Yeah, G League first. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the final one. This might be not the craziest. This is blowing my mind. You don't get a disqualification if you pick up 6 personal fouls. It's that every foul after that is just 1 shot plus the ball. What do you guys think about it?
That's interesting.
Is this has to be the GM, whoever has like Dylan Brooks on their team, whoever is the top fouler. I mean, this is the definition of thinking outside the box. I've never even like considered.
How do I get my players less kicked out of the game? Let's introduce a rule where they just get the ball back.
I mean, the thing is, maybe 5% of all players like nobody fouls out. Like it's very rare that people foul out.
I'm gonna look out the numbers.
I would say it's like less than 10% of the games that somebody fouls out in. I feel pretty confident saying that.
I wonder if there's even as Ben is gone here. Those are some weird.
He was done with all these ideas. He's like, all right, I've heard enough.
Now he's back. After that. No, that's interesting. How many times did a player foul out? Oh, I could wait. Player with the most foul out. Oh no, there's nothing on that. Okay, I'm gonna find that and I'll have that for the next episode because that's actually a very interesting stat. But there's the GM survey. A lot of interesting things to come from that for sure. But now let's get into our 5 burning questions for today. The second part of our 20 burning questions about the upcoming 2025-26 NBA season. It has been great to have the preseason back. That has been, watching NBA basketball. Us as Cavs fans, we've been watching the Cavs. I've been watching all these other teams, play and see how everyone looks. It's just great to have it back on. I'm quickly already getting into the mold of like, all right, now I'm just ready for the regular season. It's very quick. It's a very quick turnaround. So I'm excited to go through some more questions about the upcoming season. So starting off, Nick is doubling up with questions today. So we'll start with him first. Where do you want to start with, Nick?
We're going to start with the big one. Which NBA team is under the most pressure to perform this year? I'm going to throw it to Ben first. What do you got for me, Ben?
So I put down the LA Clippers for this. And I did that because, well, you still have Kawhi there. You have James Harden there. And Kawhi, while he's been there, it's just, they've had multiple years of like injuries and disappointment and stuff. But now you got a team with great depth. It's a loaded roster. I mean, this is like, one of the best like rosters Kawhi's got in there, and I think they're under a lot of pressure this year to try and get over the hump with being able to hope that health goes good for them, and then actually perform in the playoffs this year to go on a deep run. And Kawhi and Harden, these veterans that have very much time left. Chris Paul's in his last year that he's going to be playing in the Clippers. I mean, hey, I'd love to see Chris Paul do winning in the playoffs one more time, maybe even win a championship. Who knows? But I think the Clippers are just under a lot of pressure. What do you guys think?
They were one of the 2 teams I put down. I put a team from the West and a team in the East, and they definitely got the pressure because they're old and because a lot of their guys aren't under contract for a lot longer, and because it's the Clippers. I mean, they're a team that for the past now 15 years, after being one of the laughing stocks of the league, have been competitive nearly
just knocking on that door.
Knocking on the door every season. They've had championship caliber rosters, but they have one conference finals appearance to show for it. And this is arguably one of the best teams that they've had here. I mean, you could debate with the Lob City Clippers and then when PG and Kawhi were both there, but this is the deepest Clippers team in franchise history. And they still have all-NBA James Harden from last year. Kawhi is still great. Zubats was incredible. All those veterans know their role. Bradley Beal was a big time, addition to their team. So yeah, I'd love to see them win, but they've got a lot of pressure. I totally agree.
I agree too. What you talked about in the preview, this team is like, despite all the injury concerns that probably will happen in the regular season, this team is built for the playoffs. And if they underperform in the playoffs, they don't have any more chances. Like it's this year, maybe next year, and that's it. Your window is this small, finite.
Yeah, no question about it. So Clippers are my West team, but since we talked about them, I'll go to my East team, and I do think it is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Most pressure in the Eastern Conference because obviously, I mean, it's been well documented. They're another team that's been knocking on the door, particularly last season, jumping up to the number 1 seed, 64 wins, losing in the second round to the Pacers. And while it was to the hot Pacers, and while injuries were a factor, it definitely a disappointment. There's no question about it. And they're bringing back the a very similar team this year, bringing in some very nice additions. I love how they've looked so far. In the preseason, you can only take the preseason, for so much. But, the Cleveland Cavaliers are the favorite in the Eastern Conference, and I think as they should be because this team looks fantastic. But, in an open Eastern Conference, if they're not able to get it done with this team in this Eastern Conference, then I think we might actually see a change with the roster in the next offseason if they can't make it past the second round again.
In the pre-pod lobby when we were talking about whether this question was going to be the team or the player under the most pressure, I actually wrote down for the player as like Darius Garland because of basically the same reason as the Cavs, like injury concerns over the last couple of years. We've been competitive, but like he just happens to get injured at the most crucial moment, and then we let down, and then we're like, well, it's injuries. He's still a great player, but like he doesn't have many more chances, and it's for that whole Cavs team. We're in the second apron. We can't really do much more.
Not just this in the second, 20 million over the second apron, bro. Like the payroll is unbelievably high for a small market and a Cleveland team. And like you guys have pointed out, just a couple humiliating sort of playoff runs in the last couple of years. Like you're the 1 seed and you lose in 5 to the 6 seed or whatever Indiana was. And then I always go back to the Knicks series 2 or 3 years ago now where Ihart and Mitchell Robinson just dominated Evan and Jarrett. So, yeah, Evan's going to have to exert some more force as a scorer this year, and they're going to have to fill in those gaps until Darius and Max get back. But it's finals or bust, and it's playoffs or everything for this team. I have the Cavs down here for the team under the most pressure, and I have Cavs/Knicks for a lot of the same reasons. The Knicks are going to have a ton of pressure on them as well because the East is wide open, and the only team sort of standing in their path in the eyes of their fans and their organization is the Cavs. And they would probably be feeling pretty good about their chances against the Cavs, or they should be at least, because they have Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns who can just dominate and take over.
Yeah, and they got a bench now, and they got a coach who will utilize their bench. Like, whichever team doesn't make the finals out of those two teams, it's going to be a letdown of a season.
But I would say, so far heading into the season, I think both teams are feeling pretty good about their chances against each other because the Cavs also dominated. They swept them in the regular season last year, and a couple games were not even close. So, I think both teams should be feeling good about their chances, against each other, but definitely a ton of pressure as the two clear favorites in the Eastern Conference this season.
My team that I have under the most pressure, and it's OKC. We just went over the GM survey. 80% of GMs are picking them to go back-to-back, and we haven't had a back-to-back champ since the Warriors. So, in my opinion, a lot of people are looking at, even though the West is absolutely loaded and getting better, and there's better competition all over the place, there's very clearly still the best team on paper. And what we've seen, because they didn't really do much to their team and change of roster. So everyone's expecting them to just run it back, and I feel like they really need to. If they, like you said, Miles, defending champs haven't made it past the second round in forever. If they make it past the second round, I feel like that's huge.
Interesting. I feel like with this question, it's definitely true because they are the favorites to repeat again. And even in a loaded Western Conference, they were miles ahead of everyone else, last season in the regular season.
The thing is, the Thunder
they'll have more years if this doesn't work out this year.
Right.
That's how I kind of viewed this question. It's like, if it doesn't work out for these certain teams, will things change? The top ones that come to mind to me are the Cavs, the Knicks, and the Clippers.
Well, we were talking about like the second apron as well. Even though they're paying all these guys, they're still going to be covered, but they are going to have to start moving on from a lot of these very important role pieces, like maybe a Caruso or a Hartenstein. We don't know how many. They were huge for them winning that championship. We don't know how many more years they got with this team.
Yeah, at least the Hartenstein thing, I think that's going to happen either way, though.
Yes, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like if and it's a role play. Obviously, Hartenstein is one of the better role players, a great rebounder. But like if the Cavs lose in the second round or whatever, Darius Garland or Jared Allen will be on the trade block. If the Knicks lose, I think Karl Anthony Towns should be on the trade block. An all-star will get moved from one of these teams.
Yeah.
And obviously the Clippers too, with all the talent they have.
No, you're absolutely right.
Next question here. Let's just knock out the other one under pressure, Nick, as well. With which individual is under the most pressure this season?
I went with John Horst, who is the general manager, just talking about the GM surveys, of the Milwaukee Bucks. Because when you have a generational talent, an all-time superstar, great Hall of Famer, lock like Giannis, like your main responsibility as a GM of that organization is to surround him with a championship level team. And he hasn't been able to do that since 2021. Nothing has worked out that he has a 0 draft picks on this roster since that title are working out for him. A couple questionable trades, like the Dame thing, obviously looked good when we were all thinking about it. And Dame and Giannis didn't have nothing. One playoff, did they win a playoff game together?
Oh, together. Oh man.
Well, yes, it doesn't matter.
They won one like last year. They haven't won a series.
A couple bad decisions in the draft and on draft days. Some trades that didn't work out. A really questionable Kuzma thing last year was another one that just things have not worked out for John Horst in Milwaukee. And I think he's the individual in the league who I'm going to be looking at as under the most pressure.
It makes sense. I'm going to reference the GM survey we just went over, and two of the biggest offseason moves, the Bucks were on it, bringing in Miles Turner and waiving and stretching Dame's buyout. Like, these moves, these are huge moves. These better pay off at least somehow.
Yeah, and there's already, been reports about Giannis with Shams that if Giannis was going to get traded, the only team he was really interested in going to was the Knicks in the Eastern Conference, which obviously he is thinking about it. On Wednesday, he showed his commitment to the Milwaukee Bucks when he spoke to the media as they prepare for the start of the regular season. But he also said that it would be normal human nature if he changed his mind down the line. So, okay. Writing seems to be on the wall here. And Nick, as you said, there's not really a good situation. Like obviously the
normal human behavior. Like that is masterclass manipulation, bro. Like what?
Yeah. But like you said, like the Dame trade, I still think it was the right move. I still think it was the right move. But then the Kuzma.
Someone's got to answer for it, though. Someone's got to answer for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's him. It's him right now. As he's been the GM for a while, and things could definitely shift in Milwaukee throughout the season. Let's see. Ben, how about you? Which individual is under the most pressure this season?
I said a player, and that player is Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers. And Embiid was out for the last year of injury, and this year, I think he's under a lot of pressure to really get back to proving again that he can play, at a MVP, really high level player. It could take some time at the beginning of the season to adjust, but in order for the 76ers to get right back into being pretty competitive and actually looking pretty good as a team. He's got to get back to looking, like the Joel Embiid he was before, just so dominant with the scoring and we played some great defense. And I am just thinking, man, he's got to be under a lot of pressure to bounce back. And he's had some criticism too, and I think he's hoping, to try and bounce back and prove some doubters wrong with him and his team, hopefully doing better this year.
Yeah, I totally agree. Joel Embiid is definitely under a lot of pressure this season. He's definitely one of the top ones that I had for this. Joey, how about you?
Yeah, I was going between two coaches, and one of them was going to be Nurse for the Sixers because them as a whole, and it obviously starts with Embiid because he's their MVP guy. But with how bad as a team they were just last year and just how rough it was, Nurse and especially Embiid, they're going to have to bring it this year. But I actually had Jamal Mosley because for basically you got one of the best young guys in the entire league in Paolo Banchero. Your GM went all in to bring you a guy who can shoot 40% because you don't have a guy who can shoot the league average at 35% from three. And this offense has been terrible now for 3 years under defense is great. Jamal Mosley, great job. But it was the same thing under JB Bickerstaff when he was with the Cavs. It's like at some point you got to do something different to improve what you are terrible at. You just have to do something.
Gotta help those guys get some buckets, man.
You just got – I don't know, man. I don't know what he has to do. Hire somebody else that can actually teach him.
Yeah, I mean, this year we'll really get to see it. Now that they do have a shooter, I still they need more than just Desmond Bane, but obviously it's a great start.
Yeah.
Getting him. Yeah, I could agree. I've said on this podcast a couple times. I think if they don't make it out, if they don't win a playoff series again, then I think he's getting canned. So that's probably a correct answer to this question.
Yeah.
I had a few players. Embiid, of course, the Donovan Mitchells, even Zion, low-key, even though the Pelicans aren't under a whole lot of pressure to win because no one expects them to do a whole lot. He's under pressure to perform well and be on the court.
Yeah.
No one going to say Trae Young on a contract year?
Well, it's not a contract year. He has another year. So I don't think it's too much on Trae Young this season.
You said Trae Young doesn't have any more excuses.
He does not have any more excuses, but I don't think he's under the most pressure in the league. I think Embiid has more pressure because it's sustained years of good rosters. This Hawks team is, great, and this is the first time that they've had a roster of this caliber with him there. So now it's time for him to prove himself, but these other guys have had years on their resume as well. I actually had an older guy as well. Any chance that Kevin Durant could be under a ton of pressure this season, a guy that hasn't worked out for the last couple spots he's been with, and now he's on a great Houston Rockets team? Yeah. There's going to be some pressure on them to perform. We've seen in all these surveys, GMs, they have a ton of national TV games. They're on a lot of primetime games. They are expected to be a top 5 team in the league again this year because of the jump that Durant should have them making offensively. So we'll see if they can do that. So I
like that pick a lot. He's ever since the Golden State days, even though he was the Finals MVP, it was never his team. Even though the Rockets were great last year, he has a chance for this to be his team and him to lead them into a championship, possibly. Humongous pressure on him.
The last time Kevin Durant had, you're saying, his team, in past the second round, do we have to go back to OKC? Do you count Brooklyn?
No.
Oh, the last time they made it past the second round is that conference finals where they blew the 3-1 to the Warriors before he joined the Warriors in 2016. Right. So he's won. He's won 2 playoff series since he's left the Golden State Warriors. So I think there is definitely pressure on him to win in Houston, whether it's this year or next year. This year you can say Fred VanVleet's out for the year. I still think this Rockets team could be good enough to get it done, especially in the regular season. Playoffs, they could still have some questions. Ben, let's go to you. What's your burning question for us?
So, mine for today is, interesting one you guys will find to be. It is, what player will surprise in a good or bad way this season? Who wants to start first?
I will. And I actually have one that can go either way, and I don't know which way it'll go. I have Reed Shepherd for the Houston Rockets because with Fred VanVleet, that we were just talking about, they got to know if he's the guy, and he can either live it up or he could go down as a major bust. But it's going to happen this year. I don't think if he just has like a another like meh year, I don't see him getting a third-year jump like we always talk about. There's a lot of guys that break out of their shell that third year. I don't think he gets an opportunity, especially after how good the Rockets should be and how good his opportunity is. I think he has to prove it now, or he's not getting another opportunity, at least for this Rockets team.
He's definitely a young guy that does have pressure very early on in his career, but definitely fair.
I think he could go one of two ways because I do think he's a good player and he can show out, but I don't know.
Nick, how about you? What do you think?
I went with Spicy P for this one, as in the good direction. I don't normally like to project bad things on guys, so I could have picked somebody to have a bad year, but I went with Spicy P because he's perpetually underrated, Pascal Siakam, and I think it's going to be his show there in Indiana this year, even more so than it has been in the past, with Tyrese Halliburton being kind of like his sidekick, being the one to facilitate, and him being the guy who's scoring and really driving their offense in another way. But he's going to have to do even more this year, and I think he's going to step up to the plate and just have a huge year.
I agree.
I've got a couple of teammates who I think are going to go in opposite directions in the bottom of the barrel. I'm going with the Brooklyn Nets with Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. I think Michael Porter is going to surprise in a good way, and I think Cam Thomas is going to surprise in a bad way. I don't think that the whole contract situation, I don't think Cam Thomas is super happy to be there right now. But I actually think Michael Porter is going to be decent, better than we think. Like I was projecting him originally to have kind of a comedic clown year like Jordan Poole in his first year with the Wizards. But I have faith that Michael Porter could have some very good games and try to electrify the Barclays Center a little bit. Cam Thomas maybe, but he's going to continue to just want to put up points. So,
and that's why he's on my fantasy watch board.
Ben, how about you for your own question?
I got Matas Buzelis in a good way for my own question.
Let's go, Ben. I was gonna put him too.
Yeah. I could have went with some different players for this, but I went with Matas because, I saw some nice potential his rookie year, and I'm just thinking, man, this guy is just gonna be even better than what a lot of people are thinking going into this year. I think he's gonna be pretty good, and he's gonna get the ball a lot, and I think look like a better shooter this year and plays a good defense this year for the Bulls. Step up there, provides a good defense that the Bulls will need, and he just fits in well there with the team they have now. So
I saw him face to face on Tuesday night. I was like within 20 feet of the guy. I mean, 6'10", he's put on some muscle, dude. He's got some muscle on his arms. 6'10", can do basically anything with the ball. I've loved Matas. I almost did the thing that you did, Miles, with the teammates. I was going to have Buzelis good and Asenge bad because of what I kind of shared with you guys in the pre-pod lobby, which is the fact that I didn't love what I saw from Asenge that night. I was really excited to see him, and I just didn't like his sort of attitude and disposition. Seemed like half in, half out. I don't know how to really describe it. But if he can't shoot, he shot 30% in 18 games in Euro Cup, Noah Asenge. If he can't shoot, he's not going to work out. So
and today in the preseason, 0 for 4 from the field. So already not looking that great for Noah Asenge. Joey, what is your question?
All right, so we get one every year, but who do you guys think is going to be the big All-Star snub this year?
I'll start.
Oh no, Nick, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I'm changing mine from what I told you guys in an hour ago. I'm going with DeAndre Hunter as my biggest All-Star snub for this year. I've loved what I've seen in these first 2 preseason games. I honestly think, just like Spicy P, he's going to really benefit from more run and the injuries that the Cavs have to Strus and Garland. I think he's going to have a great first half of the year, but putting Mobley and Mitchell, and then maybe you'll have 5 guys in the conversation for All-Star. Not maybe with 4 because Garland's going to be hurt. But if it's Allen, Mobley, Mitchell, and Hunter, one of those guys have to be left off. And Allen was kind of the guy who was left off last year. So if he gets it, then Hunter's definitely not. But I do think Hunter's going to have a great start to the year. So that's my big snub.
Really like that pick because Hunter, I expect a big year out of him. And he's starting preseason off, like you said, on fire.
He looks good.
Dude, that's the second one. If Yang Hansen is all-rookie first team and DeAndre Hunter is an all-star conversation, I don't know, man. That'll be crazy.
Yang Hansen, man. I need to get myself a Yang Hansen jersey this year.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have to.
Have to.
Who you got, Miles?
My biggest all-star snub, I've got someone in the West. For honestly, in a similar situation, I'm going with Chet Holmgren. I think he's someone that's primed to make it, but I don't think he's going to because even though the Western Conference, even though the Thunder are so good, I think it's kind of a similar situation to the Cavs where Shea is obviously going to be an all-star. J-Dub should be second in the pecking order, and then even if Chet is having an incredible year. I think it's going to be hard to give the Thunder 3 players when you have so many other players in the West that are playing so well. I mean, you'd expect Durant and Şengün from the Rockets, Luka and LeBron from the Lakers, Jokic, maybe Jamal Murray makes it for the Nuggets. That's already a good 8-9 players. And then you've got your Edwards. Steph is still going to make it. Booker, Durant, Anthony Davis, Wemby's going to make it again. It quickly becomes very difficult for these guys to make it. So I'm going to go with Chet Holmgren, even though I think he's going to have a very good year.
Good picks. I didn't pick a single a specific player, but I picked someone on the Raptors because I think they're going to be very competitive, that a lot of people are going to want to pick them. I just don't think it's going to be Brandon Ingram. I don't think it's going to be Scotty. I don't think it's going to be – I don't think any of them are going to actually get the nod. I think they're going to be great, a competitive team. I just don't think the stats-wise and, popularity-wise, I just don't see any of them getting over some of the guys in the East.
Well, popularly, they do get Canada. They do get all of Canada for voting for those guys.
Oh, great. Hockey's going
Canadians
on.
They don't vote. They don't have a democracy there, do they? They don't.
What is going on?
Well, they don't have a president.
What does that have to do with it? All-star vote?
We're talking about. I was trying to make a voting joke. Canadians.
Politics.
Ben, I don't know.
Ben doesn't do politics. Sorry, Ben.
They've gotten Kyle Lowry to start 3 All-Star games. I think they could get a Raptor, one of these guys, in All-Star game.
But that was when the Raptors were a top 2 seed.
Kyle Lowry started in 2015 when they were a 5th seed. It was crazy.
This Raptors team is going to be 10 or 11 seed.
Well, that's your prediction. They are expected to be a team that is supposed to jump up and all that. But Ben, who do you think who's your big all-star snub heading into the season?
Mine is Jaren Jackson Jr. Kind of for similar reasons. He went off with Chet in the Western Conference that the West is so loaded to where I think Jaren Jackson Jr. could have a pretty good year, but there's just other big men that are even better, like Anthony Davis and Wemby and Jokic. That Sengun, making it ahead of him. And they got Jab Moran on their team too, who I think, will bounce back more and have a great year, and he could possibly make it. If he makes it, and I just don't think the Grizzlies are going to be the best of teams. I only think they're really going to get one All-Star, and I think it would be more likely that it be Ja Morant. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I mean, I don't think the Grizzlies will get an All-Star this year, especially because I mean, Jaren's out to start the year, Ja's out to start the year. Like, I don't even think they're gonna get to play enough games to even be considered for the game this year. It'll definitely be difficult for those guys as well, but not bad picks, by any means. My question, final one today. Looking ahead to the playoffs, of course, we talked a lot about Oklahoma City being under a lot of pressure to repeat as champions, and the Western Conference is so loaded. Which of these other Western Conference teams has the best chance to knock off the Thunder in a 7-game series? Nick, who do you think?
Well, it has to be Denver for me. I mean, they have the best player on the planet, and he's got the best roster around him that he's had throughout his whole career there, and he's already won a championship. So it's a pretty good argument for me. I'll leave it there.
Same thing here. I got the Nuggets as well. They took him to 7 last year when things were so rough. I think they would definitely be the team that could take him to the limits again this year.
I also said the Nuggets, but don't sleep on the Clippers. They were probably my second team to choose just because they're built for the playoffs. And if they're healthy at that time, they can kind of compete with anybody. They kind of have a good guy at any position that can match up pretty well with OKC.
Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm debating between Nuggets and Clippers like Joey, but I picked the Clippers for this. It was a tough pick. And I just picked that because, well, the Clippers, they have great depth too, like the Thunder. I think they have one of the best teams depth-wise in the league. And, the Thunder, they just won a championship this past year, but they're still like, a younger team, kind of a young team. And the Clippers have some pretty experienced older guys who, with that experience could make things tough on the Thunder in a playoff series. And I know the Clippers, like I said, they're going to be under a lot of pressure this year. And I think they're going to want it bad, if they stay healthy and play the Thunder in the playoffs. And I think, the Clippers have like the defenders they can put on the like Shea and those guys, and they'll have some pretty good big guys. They have a pretty good center rotation like the Thunder that can match up with the Thunder setters. And Ty Lue's a great coach there too. Could do some good things to possibly maybe out coach them. And yeah, but it could be the Nuggets. There's multiple teams it could be.
Yeah, I was going to say, we were talking about teams with great center rotations, great coaching, great defense. Any chance it could be the Houston Rockets?
I actually think, in terms of matchups, that's the most difficult matchup situation for OKC. Because, like, if Shea is being guarded by Murray or Harden, that's much easier of a task for him than Amen Thompson. And, like, if the Rockets run out there and they go 6'7", Amen, 6'8", Tari, 7-foot Durant, 6'11", Jabari, and then Şengün and Adams rotation with Capella, like, I think the size is what overwhelms OKC, and that would be like the most difficult matchup thing. The reason that I picked Denver, and I also had LAC second for depth reasons, and they're built for the playoffs. But the reason Denver is literally just Jokic. Like, if you swap, this is crazy, but if you swap like Durant and Jokic, it becomes the Rockets, obviously, right away. But I think the Rockets, like, of the three teams, they have the most difficult matchup problems for the Thunder. I just think the other two teams are slightly better.
Yeah, I think the Rockets could get the Thunder into just some ugly games.
Right.
Like, super ugly. Like, in the 80s by the end of the game. Like, I feel like opening night, those two teams play each other. Could just see a whole lot of defense with not a whole lot of scoring, and the first to 80 to 87 points wins the game. Like, it's I think
because you said that it's going to be a 140 to 136 final.
yeah, it's going to be the
'cause-
highest scoring game ever, and we're going to see.
Yeah, I'm
the
hitting the over already.
All right. But yeah, so there are our 5 burning questions for this episode. Whole lot of fun. We are halfway home with our burning questions. A whole lot more to go here. So a lot of fun here in this episode. You guys have anything else before we get out of here?
Good job, boys. Thanks for watching.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more NBA content. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.